Things just got exciting out here with Age of Overlord being the next main set. Don't be like 30% of you that have not smashed the living crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So Age of Overlord is going to be the second core booster of 2023 that will have a release for July 22nd, and we'll have cards of old and new themes, and we'll have quarter century secret rares. And for the OCG, the first run will come with what is known as the +1 pack. Now, I'm here to tell you that everything that you are expecting in this set, in the finer manners of the word Overlord being mentioned, I know a lot of Cardfight Vanguard players like, Overlord, Overlord, and they're like, immediately like, oh my god, sorry, false alarm, guys. All right, so here's kind of what we've kind of gathered for this. So there is a high chance that this could be a Cyber Dragon set. There's always, when you look at like Cyber End Dragon, all like the cyber stuff, there's always what feels like a very powerful presence about the Cyber Dragon cards that could kind of make them feel a little bit more, how do you say, I guess in terms of what I would consider, you know, monsters of like something like the Age of the Overlord. Cyber Dragons did have their reign in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit of time. I mean, Cyber Dragon was one of the most devastating monsters in the game's release. A 2100 monster that could pinnacly attack over everything would be massively crazy. But I don't think when you look at the term Overlord that Cyber Dragon would be the key aspect of things here. It almost feels like that might not be, I guess, like the go-to here. Now, there is the topic and consideration here that we could see an Evil Hero set, because we just came off of a set where we were powering up Yusei's key card. So to kind of pull heroes back out of the thing, I mean, Evil's heroes, they've gotten pretty tossed around. Though Aster Phoenix's support did come in as like a little side pillar during a live stream. So it wouldn't make too much sense, I feel like, to pull for Evil Heroes. But I'll be completely honest with you here, as I'm sure most of you are aware. Getting any sort of new Evil Hero support would make the hero community, they would be so happy. Evil Heroes, I mean, besides, you know, Dark Fusion into, you know, the one good fusion that they actually have, Evil Heroes have been very neglected for so long. And that's been a pretty big, like, issue that we've noticed as of late. Just like the continued negligence of some of these themes. So as much as I think that Evil Hero would kind of fit the theme of being, you know, the Age of the Overlord, you know, Supreme King, awesome Jaden, would be a pretty cool comeback. I can only imagine, oh man, they could pick some of the coolest arts for some of those Evil Hero cards. But it doesn't feel very, once again, Overlord themed, in my opinion. You just had like a king kind of reigning over, you know, the opponents during that era. But I mean, you also had Hellkaiser Rio and Evil Hero both kind of fit that theme to a degree, but we're still not there yet. This is an interesting one. The inclusion of new Belle support. Belle never, okay, from what I remember in GX, Belle's reign of terror kind of all had to do with like the Supreme King stuff, you know, Super Poly. Belle never really felt like an Emperor type figure. And the deck that Belle necessarily played also doesn't feel very, very Age of like, you know, like the reign of a king per se. You know, we're still once again like you're scraping those things with some of the consideration for the theme here. But Belle, as much as I would love to see a Belle core themed set, just kind of reboot back up into the Phantom Darkness here. It is the 25th anniversary, so there is the possibility that they could pull for that. That's definitely for sure. But I don't know. Once again, feels like we could be missing something. Now we got to reach for the stars here. The consideration for more Zark support. Now, when you think about the Age of Overlord, you do kind of give some consideration here to Zark. Zark essentially maintained this giant, definitely was like the big progenitor over all the dimensions because of, you know, the tie-in with the heroes and all of the dimension. It was very interesting. And then, you know, I impregnated myself in the past time in the manga. That was an entirely different, like, God, the ending to Arc V in the manga is such a train wreck, right? That's what happened. There was they literally pulled a Fry on my own grandfather or something like that, I think was the joke. It was weird. But at the end of the day, Zark does kind of fit the bill a little bit here, to be that big, giant problem. But can we really give Zark a power-up at this point? Like, you've already given him a trap card that allows you to summon him and then split him apart into the dimensional dragons. I don't know what more you would do, because I already feel like you've reached the pinnacle of, like, Zark bigness. You know what I mean? So it's a possible. This problem is there's so much to mention for Overlord. DDD. Now this is kind of interesting to me, because DDD is in a very interesting place, because they were everything that they are in terms of like history figureheads does kind of, I mean, they were, some of them were emperors, some of them, you could very much have an entire archetype here that was very, very strong, and they definitely pulled every single summoning mechanic out of, you know, thin air here to really give this deck a chance to kind of shine. And that's something that you got to really consider here, is like, in terms of all the history tie-ins that you've seen for DDD, they are so cool. But I would very much consider them like an Emperor class theme here, to like throw in the Aged Old monsters, because they did have their era. Don't get me wrong. They were definitely some very strong monsters out here. Now, you also do have the Dark Rebellion Overlord. And some major consideration for the fact that Dark Rebellion has been mentioned in terms of card names. You could see this turn back into a Dark Rebellion set, and then, you know, that kind of backpedals back into Zark there a little bit, where you could see some sort of huge power-up, at least in general, to Dark Rebellion / Phantom Knights / Raid Raptors. But it doesn't feel very main character themed. There was also a giant consideration that, I mean, the only time that we've heard the term Overlord be mentioned in the anime, I guess, was a few people have told me it was a callback to Dark World. Now, a Dark World themed set would be very, very interesting, but the problem is it doesn't really follow the current trend of, like, visiting the characters that are all, you know, main characters and, you know, pulling from their stuff. Dark World was very much a side set. I mean, we could get Dark World Corridor finally, but if that's going to be the thing, I mean, pulling up and looking at everything with Overlord in the name, you've got a lot of heretic stuff. You got some True Draco stuff to really consider. But you also have Dark World as pull-in. So if we're going to break the trend straight off of the 25th anniversary block with Duelist Nexus, and we're going to break it off of the Age of the Overlord and then try to do it as a Dark World set, I could see Dark World support in there as like a homage to that. There is a possibility and consideration for that. But the real big thing here is, I think that this might actually be either a DDD themed set, or you are gonna, well, I mean, with like Overlord stuff, or we're gonna spin it on up here, and we're gonna go to give consideration for heroes strictly because of evil heroes. You know, Belle, everything that we've mentioned in this video seems like a good candidate in terms of the overall power-ups, just from everything that you've got in the anime and based on wording of card text. And I'd be happy with any of this. I'm sure Cyber Dragon support would be a huge cool win for the community. It's, considering the fact Rushdle just got some power-ups for that, I'm a little bit jealous. It would be really, really cool if they could spin that on back here. But from where I'm sitting right now, I think there's a lot of things to really consider for this set, but Age of Overlord really throws me off. I really don't know what to expect. Duelist Nexus was pretty apparent it was probably going to be a 5D set, but this is beyond what I'm really expecting. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.